Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My voice is a little... sorry. You know when you wake up and your voice is like... well, sometimes it helps to sing it out in the morning. 5 good minutes or few of singing and you're golden. So, I want to talk about distractions. So, we all live with them. We all have them. We're all guilty of being distracted in one way, shape, or form. But a little bit of a distraction is not bad. It's all about balance. You have to balance things. So, when it comes to balancing these things, if you have a family, this is what your priorities should be. And also, they should never be fixed. You should be able to do good judgment calls and pick your battles. The only time that distractions and one of these things, these priorities become a detriment is when everything else starts to suffer. The thing is, what we should, in theory, should be and try to achieve is balance in all areas of your life. Meaning, find your zen. Find your calm. And achieve each and every one of your responsibilities. And then if you have room for extra, well, go forth. Do whatever it is that makes you happy. But distractions become a detriment when they overcome and take over your life. Like, for instance, if you have family, your priorities should very well be family. Especially when you have a child in your life. And that child looks and depends on you for care and guidance. So the thing is, if you are working, it should be your family and or child. It should be your loved ones, your job, and sadly, your friends. And then it should be other responsibilities like the upkeep of a home, the upkeep of a vehicle that will take you to and from where you have to go. Pets even fall under the curriculum of child and family. Because to your pet, you are their life. Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to word this in a way where people can understand and it's not vague as hell. Because I've seen all too well how people and kids suffer when it comes to a distracted parent. Your kid could be sick and you're so distracted and you won't be able to tell. Now, yeah, okay, 9 times out of 10, it's just something small, but you never know that there could be a bigger underlying problem with the person that you're in charge of, basically. I had a friend that she was a single parent. The father of her child just upped and left. Like, didn't even tell her. She don't even know where he's at. And you know, It happens. Whatever the reasons were, this is besides the point I'm making. Her kid, complained of being tired a lot. Her kid was, barely eating. All that kid did was sleep, didn't play. And she was so distracted with, the dating scene and with this boyfriend that she didn't realize her kid, needed to go to the doctor. But the kid, like a good kid, would get up, go to school, be in front of the house waiting for the bus, go to school, come back, do their homework. She got phone calls from the school saying the kid has said for the past 2 weeks they were too tired to do their homework and they keep sleeping in class. Turns out she finally stopped long enough to see that her kid had changed. Her kid was sick. Turns out the kid had Lyme disease from a tick bite. Kid lost a lot of weight. She kept telling the kid that the kid was fine, you're fine, you're fine. Just go to sleep, just go to sleep. Well, the kid's fine now. This is back out west. Long story short, keep your eyes on a swivel. Because you never know who's depending on you. I've seen people around my age ignore their parents, only to find out before they know it, their mother or father passed away because they tried to reach out and tell them that there was something wrong, and they were going to tell them, like, hey, I'm really sick. You can possibly lose people if you don't balance your life. People are not disposable. You don't realize what you had with them until they're gone. And you see people, they are so consumed with their job and they don't ever get to know their family. And they live with them. You have to be strong enough to balance your life. The only way to really achieve that is to stop for at least 5 minutes. Reflect your life. And if you, like for instance, if you have a house, you have to take care of it. Because if you don't, things happen. Things break down. And it's just, you can't ignore your home. Because if you ignore your home so much, so badly, the very foundations can pretty much buckle and rot. Paying the bills is just not enough when it comes to a home. The very walls of a home can absorb the emotions you emit and reflects the work you put into it. Your home is alive. The trees are alive. The ground, the grass, alive. Your perception of your life has so much to do with how you function in it. You know, a lot of people, you know, when they work and they have a coworker or a boss or a customer, you know, give them a bad experience, or they just have a bad attitude, and, you know, you can tell, even if they cover it up, you can tell that they're not with it, or they're not happy, you know? You can tell. They don't have to say nothing, and you can tell. It's a bristly, prickly feeling. So a lot of people ask me, how do you deal with customers? How do you deal with bad, you know, coworkers? How do you deal with people? Well, I deal with people knowing the fact. Yeah, I love my coworkers and I love my customers, whether they're good or bad. I make it very obvious that I can tell that they are not feeling it. The trick is to remain kind, no matter what. Whether they're mean, they're hateful, and they're cussing you out, you can go as far as to say, to defend yourself, but politely. I actually had a front row seat to a manager get cussed out, be called a bitch and everything. And it really upset her. And I had so many customers, I wanted to stop and just say, sir, there's no reason for this behavior. You are far more better than that. You are far better than what you are showing right now. Please calm down and just purchase what you're purchasing. And I regret that, not stopping and saying something, because whatever he was going through, now people take out their frustrations and pain because they haven't stopped long enough to deal with whatever it is, whatever that hurt is. Because if you don't stop and deal and find peace and acknowledge and sort out through the hurt, you're going to end up bleeding on the people that haven't even cut you to cause that hurt. Like, for instance, if your life is imbalanced, it's going to show. And it's going to affect everything. Distraction and imbalance and hurt that stays unresolved is like cancer. It eats and affects everything in your life. I was once guilty of that. Basically, I used to live a life where I basically plugged my ears and closed my eyes and said, everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine, until finally, it took me losing somebody who's no longer with us anymore. And I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Because it affected me so deeply, I couldn't face the truth of the facts that this person was dying. Granted, I was only 17, but I was old enough to face the music and say goodbye. At least give them that. But I didn't. And I will always regret that. Now, I do have peace. I have found peace within that. And she knows that I love her and I am very sorry. And it took her to come to me in spirit and demand me to stop beating myself up, to find peace and forgive myself, and sort out and deal with the pain that I was trying to bury. If you don't sort and deal with the pain and the hurt that you've been cut with, you will bleed all over everything and everyone. And it's like an infection. Once that blood touches other people, it affects them too. We are creatures of emotion, of mind, spirit, and body. And if we don't balance those things, like when you fill a tire up in your car, you want to make sure the PSI is the same, right? You want to make sure there's the same amount of air in each tire. You want to make sure, because if you don't, it's going to mess up the other tires and it's going to mess up your car. Balance. Life is not something you just live. You balance it. You work at it. You cultivate it. You grow it. You nurture it. This is you we're talking about. Not me. Not somebody else. You. And no other person or therapist or psychologist is going to fix the problems for you. No pill or drug or distraction in the world is going to keep you from having to face that music. And if you run away from it far and long enough, it's going to become a mental, emotional, or spiritual nervous breakdown. I have seen far too many people break down in a corner, trying to scramble and put the pieces back together. In a spiritual sense, you look at people and it's like a war zone. You got people trying to put their arm back on without medical attention. They're just like, it's gonna get back on there. Yeah, I'm okay. And then it's like, your arm is blown off. You're not okay. It's okay to not be okay. So-and-so died, and I really miss them and love them. They were my everything. It's okay to not be okay. Or, I just had a miscarriage. Again, it's okay to not be okay. Life is too much right now. Okay. Duly noted. It's okay to not be okay. Stop lying to yourself. Stop distracting yourself. Stop running away from your problems. The more you ignore it, the worse it gets. I've all but grabbed people by the shoulders and shook them and say, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to fall to pieces. Life happens. We've been through a lot. Everyone's going through a whole lot. Now, granted, to other people, it may not seem like a lot, but to that person, in their perception, it's too much for them. And the problem is with this society, we have no instruction manual on how to cope. Nobody. People either don't cope at all or they just bury it. By medicine, by drugs, by drinking, by sex, even. Going out. Spending money. finding a habit, getting a habit to distract yourself. It's becoming a safety net. The thing is, with habits and bad coping, it's not a safety net. It's a ticking time bomb. When you can't do it anymore, you're going to fall to pieces. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself. This is an exercise. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself. Think of everything you've gone through. And remind yourself, I'm alive. I survived that. And I will continue to survive that. Allow yourself to be proud of yourself. Too much pride is not good, but just enough pride to give yourself a pat on the back like, hey, I made it. I'm alive. I survived. I am breathing. I am working. I have people that love me and people in my life that give a damn. I'm doing pretty good. And the moment you realize that is the moment you have solved over half of your problems that are in here locked away. That is my secret to you guys. That is my secret. That's how I make it every day. I get up. I remind myself why I should be happy. I have family that love me. I have a husband that is so out of this world. I have friends that I can call on, cry to, vent with. I have a job and I'm alive. There has been moments where there's been situations that I've been through that I really could have died. Car accident. Abusive ex that tried to kill me more than once. Random person that pulled a gun on me and tried to hurt me. I'm alive. Falling out of a tree, miraculously being fine. Falling off a roof. Kids, right? I was on a roof because I saw a baby bird stuck in a drain and I saved it. I saved it and I put it back on the nest. And, you know, yeah. It kind of felt weird. It felt like it felt like I was falling slower than I should have fallen. I don't know, a lot of people say it's your guardian angel grabbed you and saved you because you were trying to do something good. And if that's the case, thank you so much. It's sheer anguish for people like me to watch people run away from the hurt. And I can't make them heal. I want to. I can't help people that aren't ready. And I can help them. They just gotta let me. Now I've healed my parents. I've healed my parents. And I'm proud to say that I did that. I'm pretty much sat them down and said, look, this is what we're all going through. And this is what I've seen you guys go through. If this resonates with you, please tell me you're ready and I will help you. And they did. They agreed. He said, yeah, smudge the house, cleanse the house, smudge us, cleanse us. They trusted me. I did it. I succeeded. Now, I've yeah. Sorry, I spaced out a minute. It means I got information. So, hope this helps, because the holidays are coming and there's a lot of hurt people walking around here. And the best thing you can do is, if they if they are unnecessarily mean out of the blue to you, just chalk it up as they're hurting and they don't know how to deal with it, so they just whip it out and just spill it everywhere. You know? You know, don't let a bad moment be a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. Let it go. If it's not yours, let it go. You gotta take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. So, okay, love and light to you guys, and I wish we all have a really good day today, and peace.